with these bats, which is why I want to segue this conversation to the bats. And I want you to have a chance to read the quote. I'm assuming you have it in front of you of a Brewers reliever who had comments about the bats that the Yankees are using that, of course, a little bit of context here, the Yankees have had approved. These are not bats the Yankees purchased off of Craigslist or eBay. No, these baseball bats came from a factory and then were viewed by Major League Baseball. And according to the rules, these bats are perfectly legal. There's nothing illegal about them, despite what Twitter or any other social media platform may say. So, Jake, take it away.
Yeah, so Trevor McGill, who has, I believe, an ERA over 4 for his career. Anyway, Trevor McGill, their closer this year, he came out and they're still in this series. I think that's the thing that kind of pissed me off the most. But anyway, here's this quote. I think it's terrible. We'll see what the data says. I've never seen anything like it before. I feel like it's something used in slow pitch softball. It's genius. Put the mass all in one spot. It might be Bush League. It might not be, but it's the Yankees, so they'll let it slide. There it is. There it is. Oh, it's the Yankees, right? We saw AJ Minter of the Mets throw some shit. Well, you know, these are real baseball fans, not like the crosstown rival. Look, this reeks in desperation. You're watching your team get beat to shit in a 3-game series. And this reeks of just soft spine energy, man. I am way too much of a competitor in what I do as just a content creator, but I am a competitor and you're a competitor. And it would be like you and I saying someone found a way to make the game the algorithm, right? And now their show, like say another Yankee show, does more than us that initially didn't or whatever. Could you imagine us saying, man, that's unfair. That's lame. Why not us?
It reminds me of Tiger Woods when Tiger Woods hit a drive 330 yards in the middle of the fairway and then turn a par 5 into a short par 4, right?
Yeah.
Destroys the tournament, wins the Masters, right? Wins the Players. And then you've got old players saying, well, the reason that he's better is because of the new tech. Let's be clear. And the Yes broadcast touched on it because they had a baseball game to call. But we here on a podcast, we can go more into depth. We've got an audience who obviously can sit here for much longer. Now, let's be clear. The tech is going to change. People are going to come up with innovation, and the game is going to volley back and forth. People are going to come up with new ways to play this game. I don't know why anyone thought that this wasn't going to occur. Of course, when you get into the game of golf, they're going to find a way to make the ball slice less, right? To give you more control, to put a wedge in your hand and create more spin, right? Around the pins. That is common knowledge, common sense. I don't know why anyone would think things would just remain the same. And eventually, if they decide that this is too much of an advantage or it's just gone too far one direction, then Major League Baseball can make that adjustment. But for people to get actually on any type of platform, player or not, using that platform to promote this as some type of cheating, as if the Brewers couldn't have come out here with the exact same bats, it's nonsensical. It's exact conversation I've had about deferring contracts. The Dodgers aren't the only team who can defer a contract. The Yankees can do the exact same thing. The difference being the players aren't agreeing to it for us as much as they are for them. So that's why people perceive this as such an issue. But for me personally, if you have a problem with it as a Brewers player, these bats are right at the factory. Order them. You guys all have money. Throw it in the hands of Christian Yelich, right? Throw it in the hands of Terang. Throw it in these players' hands and then come out to the field and we'll play. But as far as I'm concerned, there's no reason to come out to the field and somebody has innovation before you do, and now you're going to complain. So obviously, I didn't like the comments. He has a right to voice any comments. We all have an opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not all opinions are based in fact.
Yeah. I mean, you actually have the, I'm going to tee you up here because you actually have the rules. And then I'll say my piece on the actual bat. But you have the rules, I believe, in front of you, right?
Yes. Okay. So rule, and then we're going to get to the super chats because I want to make sure we catch up on those. And yeah, Kid Reyes, we definitely got you on the signature. If you purchase merch from us and you send it to me, I'll send it right back to you signed. No problem.
Yes.
So Rule 3.02a, which, I mean, to be quite honest with you, I feel like we're reading, what is it, a double fault from dodgeball? We don't read the rules. But now that people are going to dive into pretending to know the rules, we're going to now grab the rule book and we're going to use it against your opinion here. Okay. So Rule 3.02a says a bat shall be smooth, round stick, not more than 2.61 inches in diameter at the thickest part and not more than 42 inches in length. The bat should be one piece of solid wood, which until further notice or someone's told me otherwise, I'm fairly certain the Yankees bats right now are one piece of wood. Okay. So I don't really think we have a problem there. And it says, note, no laminated or experimental bats shall be used in a professional game, either season or exhibition game, until, here's the key, the manufacturer has secured approval from Major League Baseball of his design and methods of manufacture. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. If you've had it approved, that's the key. That's the homework that Michael Kay, Joe Girardi, and crew have done. They found out, because of course this was a topic of conversation for the team that they're covering. Did they get this approved? Because are we just running out with experimental bats? That would be a major story. If you guys just started running out to home plate with something new, some Mark McGwire blow-up bat, yes. That would be a conversation that would be worth plastering on Barstool, plastering on all these major networks and saying, what are the Yankees doing to have such an offensive avalanche? They must be cheating. Until you realize, no, if you do your homework, you'd realize the Yankees have done their research and they do have an experimental bat, but the caveat is that they did get approval from baseball. So there's no problem here. The problem is that Brewers pitching can't get us out, and they're going to have to figure out the next time that we see them how to go about doing so.
You said it. I mean, that's the thing. As long as they stay within the confines of the diameter rule, it's okay. And as they explained, Anthony Volpe isn't just getting a custom bat made for him by a certain thing that looks like a bowling pin. These are, and this is also another thing real quick. I do want to touch on this because the thing about those bats, and this is where competitiveness comes from. The Yankees analytic department created this.
Correct.
So that's the thing that bothers me about his comment. Like, are you really that ignorant? You didn't do your homework. The Yankees analytic department created this. They didn't create the bats from scratch. They brought it to the manufacturers because also, how ignorant can you be? Not everybody has a Louisville Slugger or whatever certain bats, right? There are different bats out there. I'm pretty sure Volpe has a Mizuno. Well, it could be wrong. But the point is they have different bats. So Volpe's manufacturer got all of the dimensions and things like that they needed to create Volpe's bat based on the analytical team, right? They compiled, they worked with him. He also worked with them. And they were like, yeah, you're hitting it here. So why don't we make the thicker part of the bat here? We're not going to make the diameter bigger because that's cheating. We'll keep it within the confines of the diameter rule and we'll make it thicker here. Oh, Jazz, you're hitting it close to the end of the bat. Let's make it thicker here, right? It's really not that hard. And it's almost annoying that it came out because now you have these idiots. Gary, I can't even tell you how many times your favorite thing when you take a clip that you didn't actually, you already know.
Oh, no, I love it. You don't like that when people go on Twitter and they get a home run clip and just copy and paste it and just say, wow, watch this clip and then get 225 retweets. Yeah, major podcasters doing this stuff too. It's wild stuff. But anyways, you take it back.
It's even better when they do that and then they say things like totally misinformed, like, oh, now Judge is using the what is it? The bowling pin.
And Judge hasn't even looked at the bat.
Judge is like, I want nothing to do with it. He's like, no. If it's not broke, don't fix it. And that's how Judge, I agree with that, by the way. I mean, when you could look at it from a standpoint of, oh, well, Aaron Judge with these bats, he could be, no, because Aaron Judge doesn't have issues that Volpe has. Volpe's still a young player. that still has a hard time centering the ball on the meat of the bat. This makes a ton of sense for him. If anything, I'm actually really high on Volpe right now because of this bat. Because it's the way he swings. It's like he doesn't have the timing Judge does. Judge, if you look at almost every single one of his those slow-mo swings, they're almost always right on the meat. Volpe, it's like very rarely. So when you have that timing down, you don't really need all the bat's doing is helping out with the timing aspect and where you normally have the ball hit. It's no different as you brought up with golf. Okay. Now, yes, you mentioned the golf balls, you mentioned, the irons, whatever, like things that help you so you don't slice as much, but not even that. Let's just talk about the fact that there are custom fittings where you can have the shaft of the club cut down to your desired length. You can have it long, you can have it short. You could change the grip on the golf club. You can change where the lie angle is. There's so many different things you can do. And then you have, as they brought up on the broadcast, tennis rackets. So certain tennis players have a certain way that they want to have the tennis racket. So all this technology, you can have your own custom tennis racket. So it's tailored to your abilities. Well, baseball's just catching up. And we could sit here and be like, wow, like we could make fun of it. We could be like, this is 2025 and it took us this long to have custom bats based on the player and have tailor-made bats. But you know what?
That's fair.
But you know what? Who cares? The point is they're advancing. And you and I, we're not like diehard analytic fans. As you guys know, we do care about stats still. We do care about the eye test as long as you have the eyes. But I just feel like this is a good thing. And people that are complaining about it, all that means is that the Yankees were ahead. They might have an advantage, but if you don't think right now that other teams are rushing to try to create this, you're wrong. Probably everybody in the league will have these type of bats in 5 years, maybe even next year. But one thing that is for certain that you have to give credit where credit's due. The Yankees may struggle in this area, and they took all sorts of shade from the Dodgers, but they were the first ones to roll out this bat because their analytics department is the best in baseball. It's without a doubt the best in baseball.
I love that this happened. I mean, I don't know how you feel about it. I love that this is creating controversy because it's really going to show you who's in good faith arguing against what the Yankees are doing or with it, right? Yeah. And at this point, you have to remember, guys, we're having these disputes and these debates with people who aren't looking to understand why the results happen on the field for each team, right? And if you're having a discussion with somebody who clearly has motivation to prove that the Yankees are not, in good faith winning these games, well, they're going to just draw conclusions without evidence. They're not going to do the research. You can make those assumptions that they are not going to do the necessary research to determine, is this across the line in terms of the rules or not?